Hello, hello, hello. Beautiful. It looks like we are here, and welcome along, everyone, to a beautiful sunny day in Canada, and welcome to the BMRL Tier 2 Season 2 Round 9 Canadian Grand Prix, and it is looking like a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the sound's all good. Let me know in the chat if it is all good. I will keep you updated on all of the graphics, so that is all good. Hope we are good. I'll do a little check. Hello, hello, hello. Beautiful. And welcome along, everyone, as drifting has put on the intermediate tyres, very interestingly. And the first driver to leave the garage will be BMRL Roscoe. And welcome along, BMRL Roscoe, who is on a couple of bad races at the moment, but he is confident that he can bring it back. And I am looking forward to this. Today, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I am all by myself. This is a slightly last minute put together stream, but I am your host today, and we do not have Jason Doyle, and we do not have Josh Okunlawan. I am the only one here for you, and I will be taking you through this amazing race in Canada as we follow on to watch the big constructors and drivers fight that is going on currently between Aston Martin and Ferrari, and Matty 102, Official JE, and Jake Laser, who are all in with a chance at the current championship. And 126 points for Matty 102, 124 for Official JE, could go either way, and then 238 for Aston Martin and 218 for Ferrari. And we are on for an amazing end to this season, as we aren't even halfway through yet, actually. Almost at the halfway point, round 10. But I will keep waffling as BMR Roscoe goes on to start his first flying lap. And we'll be the first person to set a lap in this session. And I'm just going to check the onboard sounds are okay. Are they okay? I think the onboard sounds are okay. Yes, we are all perfect. I will do a little quick change just to make sure you guys can hear me all good. And here we go. Audio options, gain volume down one. That should be good. And I hope you're all enjoying today, and I so am, as I am here to commentate all by myself over an interesting race between the fastest of tier 2 and yesterday. What did we have? Let me get to actually Roscoe set 42.7 in the middle sector. I cannot remember as that was good, as I was way off the pace in tier 1 yesterday and ended up crashing into the World Champions, if you did not know. Happy to hear that I did, and Josh Okunlawan won the race, even more annoyingly, and Cam goes past the final chicane and onto the final straight to set a 1:11.8, which is an okay banker. Yesterday's pole times in tier 1 were a 1:09.3, I believe, so he is a little bit off the pace, but it's not too bad, not too shabby for BMR Roscoe. And drifting sets a 1:15.5 on the intermediate tyres, and Yasenito on the softs in the Scarlet Red Ferrari goes on provisional pole, very provisionally, as it is very early in the session, with a 1:11.3, and Tyrant King immediately takes that crown off of him and sets in another 1:11.3 as well to take provisional pole away from Yasenito and into Tyrant King 07's hands. And immediately, once again, Official JE, as expected, sets a 1:10.7 to go into provisional pole to take that provisional pole position back for Ferrari. And Alessandro Cowley immediately follows in to take P2 in the Alfa Romeo in that wonderful livery with the Italian flag on the back. And the Red Bull is next across the line of Shane, who was on a lap, about to start his lap. And he takes the first corner and immediately invalidates, unfortunately for him, and will have to go again, as that is not good. Shane has had a couple of good races. He debuted and won in Spain, and then last time out he did end up in the position that is, he finished P8. So a P1 and a P8 so far. No, wait. A P1 and a P6 for Shane so far. So not too shabby. And to look at the recent qualifying performances, you can't look too far other than Jake Laser, who has been on pole for the last 2 races consistently. He will be hoping for a 3rd pole position in a row for the dark green, British green Aston Martin boys, and he will be hoping to take home his 3rd pole in a row, but Official J will be hoping to stop that as he has won. He did win last time out in Portugal after not taking pole position, but Jake Laser, 2 poles in a row, 4 poles overall in 9 races. He has been absolutely immense in qualifying, and he still hasn't won a race yet. So he will be hoping to have a good qualifying and have a good race today to propel him into the upper regions of the championship, as he is falling slightly behind the 2 of Matty102 and Official J, and I have completely missed Matty102 taking the 2nd spot on the grid with a 1:10.8, only 1/10 off Official J. He is up there. We have a little fight for provisional pole position here between Matty102 and Official J, and that is a great way to start this qualifying session. And Jake Laser on his banker is going round turn 2 and into the fast right-left section, and this is early days, so we do not know if he will be up there on with the pace. And he, what is, I can't find it, but here we go. I can't find the corner name, sorry guys, as he sets a purple sector 1 and into the next sector immediately. This corner is extremely difficult, and you want to get on the power as early as possible, heading into the hairpin that is actually called Le Pendule. I think I'm pronouncing that horrendously, and Jake Laser has set another purple sector. He is on for a provisional pole for his 3rd week in a row. Can he get the final chicane right into the wall of champions, and he heads bullets down the casino straight and into the final chicane? Very easy to mess up, but not for Jake Laser, and he takes that final chicane very well, and he will set a 1:10.6 to take a provisional pole of the Canadian Grand Prix. What a lap from Jake Laser as he sets a 1:10.6 and is still 1.3 seconds slower than the pole position time in Tier 1. That just shows you the difference in quality between the 2 tiers. And unfortunately, Josh Stevens got disqualified there for going too slow in the pit exit, which is very easy to do around here. Unfortunate for Josh Stevens there. As I will keep an eye on. No one's on a lap at the moment, but Alessandro is starting his 2nd lap of the session, currently on a 1:11 flat with a P4 on the grid, and he will be heading towards the turns 3 and 4, hoping to improve on his lap and maybe jump Matty102 and Official GE and go onto the front row, maybe even try and beat Jake Laser, as he is slightly down on his time going into sector 2, and he slightly loses. He is sending it around this lap, Alessandro, the Italian in the Italian car. He will be hoping to challenge for a win. The pace he's had, he definitely deserves to be fighting for it at some point. Maybe this is his track. We will have to wait and see. And he sets a 42.3 and is still down on his time. Man, yes, that was a mistake, and he is done, and he will have to re-go at some point as Yasunito. Re-go, I don't know what I mean by re-go, but we will move on very swiftly. And Yasunito sets a P4 time with a 1:10.9. for the Scarlet Red Ferraris. It is Aston Martin Ferrari here, ladies and gentlemen. I am really enjoying being by myself. The waffling is crazy. Josh is going to enjoy watching this back 100%, I am sure. If you are watching Bratty Terror, say hello. I am here. How are you doing? Well done on your win yesterday. And as we watch Mr. Camus set a purple sector 1 round the streets of Canada and into the start of sector 2, and here he goes, Mr. Camus, the American, the 2nd American on the grid. The lead American, Jake Laser, is currently on pole position, but Here comes Mr. Camus into the end of Sector 2 and sets a 42.6, which is slightly off the pace, so he will have dropped a bit further down after that purple first sector, and he gets the power down as early as possible out of the hairpin. And here he goes, Mr. Camus, going down the casino straight, heading towards the Wall of Champions. Can he avoid it and set a good final sector? And he takes that pretty well. Not amazing, but pretty well. Nothing too bad about that, as Mr. Camus sets a 1:11.5 to put himself P9 on the grid for the Williams team. What a lap from Mr. Camus as we head towards the final stages of qualifying. As we will have a slight lull in the action, I will watch JE set this lap. I will be back in roughly 30 seconds, guys. Hopefully JE has a good lap here. As I am returned, as we have been watching JE's lap, I haven't been able to see what his sector time's like. He must still be up, but he is trying to head towards the final corners. And sorry for the lull in the commentary there, guys, but I am back, and he is slightly up on the time with a 73 thousandths up. And here he comes down the final straight to set a 1:10.3, and JE retakes provisional pole off of Jake Glazer, and we have a back and forth battle going on between the two of these great drivers in the Aston Martin and the Ferrari, both iconic cars obviously. And here comes Jake Glazer on his lap now, which will be his final one before his final flyer, I assume, so his penultimate lap, you could say, with my fantastic vocabulary. And I'm sure you guys are enjoying my fantastic vocabulary so much, and thank you for joining us on this incredible Canadian Grand Prix journey as Jake Glazer almost loses it out of the exit of the hairpin, and as he heads down the casino straight, he might not even be improving anymore. He was 2/10 up, but he is absolutely sending it round the track for this final one, and he lifts off to give up on his lap and head straight to the pits. He will not be retaking provisional pole before the final runs here, as BMRL Roscoe has only just come out of the pits to set his second lap. Will he be saving his tyres for the race to use a set of softs later on? That could be his tactic here. He will be hoping to send it into a higher position than P13, as he is quite far down the pecking order at the moment, as Shane comes across the line to set a 1:10.7 and get in front of the Matty 1 of 2 and Yasunito of the Aston Martin and Ferraris, and splits the front runners like the Red Bulls seem to like to do this season. Caxel has been the one fighting with them, but now Shane is the one up there, and he will be hoping he can challenge them, the dominant Ferrari and Aston Martin so far this season. As someone to look out for, it's Deadliest Dave in 10th with a 1:11.4 so far. Not too shabby from him. And Camp Tramp Boom is down in P11, just giving up on that final lap so he can set a proper final run on the best track conditions possible. And Matty 1 of 2 is already out of the pits. That's quite an early final lap for Matty 1 of 2, unless he will be trying to do 2 runs. That could be his tactic here. And I think Waxy Lettuce is on a lap to try and improve on that 1:12.6, which is not an amazing lap at the moment. And I've never realised how crazy Jason is for being able to do this all the time, singular, all by himself. And he is, I send my commiserations his way. I send my congratulations this week as well, because he has really done a great job being able to waffle like this for a whole qualifying and a whole race multiple times. But as Waxy Lettuce heads to the final chicane and takes it okay, not the greatest final chicane, he lost a bit of speed there, he scrubbed it off, exiting the corner, and he sets a 1:12.1. He isn't on the pace here today, guys, but you never know with Waxy Lettuce. He is a very consistent driver, and if others do end up crashing out, he will be the one to take advantage of that. And here we go, Matty 102 starting probably one of his final 2 laps in this session, and Matty 102 takes that corner very nicely, and he sets a 19.6 in the first sector, which is 1/10 up on his original time of 1:10.8 as he exits the left-right section, and he is purple in the first sector, heading into the middle of sector 2 now, and you need a good exit out of here to be able to have a nice run before this very important hairpin, which can make or break your lap. And then another corner comes up straight after it of the chicane, which is another one that can make or break your lap once again, as Matty 102 sets a purple sector 2, and he is flying here, ladies and gentlemen, in the Aston Martin. And here he comes down the casino straight to go into the final 2 corners, and he will be hoping to set a good lap for his final one, hopefully, and he exits the chicane and takes it wonderfully as Matty 102 in the Aston Martin sets a 1:10.7 and does not improve very much. He will be hoping to calm the tyres down, save the ERS, and go again, I assume, with the how early that lap was, and he's not flashing full fuel yet, so he has definitely fueled for 2 laps. And 1:10.7 with extra fuel in the car is not bad, so he will be one to watch out for when we start setting these final laps. Just trying to keep up with what's going on here, guys. I think Yasunito is... No, he's not. He can't be. He's not using his ERS. Drifting is on a lap. I think he is using his ERS as he sets a faster sector 2 than he has before, and Drifting is on his way in P6 in that Mercedes, which is very good for Drifting, and I hope he has this pace in the race because it'll be good to watch. And here he comes now into the final chicane, and he sets a 1. Okay, I've done that too early, but here he comes drifting to cross the line, sets a 1:11.2, can't improve, and his session must be over now, as he won't be able to set another lap, as Yasunito is waiting, so he has the best track possible to set his final lap. First across the line will be Jake Laser, I believe, of the big runners. Obviously, Supermoto is in front of him, along with Official JE, who's on a lap before Jake, as we will keep an eye on Official JE, who will be the first of the big hitters to get a rock across the line, as Matty 102 has come into the pits, I believe, and he will not be improving. So that is P4 at best for Matty 102, as JE will be hoping to improve on his 1:10.3 to try and secure that provisional pole that he is currently holding ahead of Jake Laser, the one who has had 2 poles in a row. Will JE be able to knock Jake off of his perch, as he is 2/10 up in the middle sector? Roscoe is out of the session, P13 for him, and here comes JE down the casino straight. Will be hoping for a little slipstream from the Mercedes in front of him, and he will be hoping to gain a little bit of time so he can maybe get into the high 1.9s. And here he comes into the final chicane, and this is a very difficult corner, but he takes it okay, loses the rear end on the exit. He has lost a little bit of time there, and JE sets a 1:10.2. That is the time the others need to beat. And here comes Jake Laser, who is not improving. He is a 10th down on his time. Jake Laser, 2 poles in a row. Can he get a third? It is a 1:10.7 for Jake Laser. He cannot improve, and Official JE is on provisional pole right now, but Shane is up on his time. The only other driver, I believe, who can stop him here. And Shane is onto the final 2 corners of this winding street track. Shane touches the wall on the exit, maybe scrubs off a bit of speed there, sets a 1:10.3 and goes into P2, and that is an amazing lap from Shane to put himself into P2, and the flying American, is only in P3 after his 2 pole positions in a row. He will be quite disappointed with that, but he will be a happy bunny to still be only just behind the front 2, and Aston Martin's locking out the second row of the grid, and that sets up a very interesting Canadian Grand Prix here, guys. And we will be seeing a Shane and official JE front row lockout, and Yasunito down at P6 for the other Ferrari, and I will give you a little rundown of the grid as official JE starts on pole position with a very quick time of a 110.2, and then Shane in P2 with a 110.4, basically ahead of Jake Laser and Matt Yonatu, the two Aston Martins, a bit further down than they're used to, but that might be a good thing as they haven't had good races recently. Maybe it's flipped. Mr. Camus in the Williams in P5, Yasunito in P6 in the second Ferrari, not too far off of the front, and then you got drifting in a very good performance in the Mercedes ahead of Alessandro Cowley, whose final lap was compromised, I believe, ahead of Tyrant King and Camtran Boom, who must have had a couple of bad laps, unfortunately, but they will be hoping to come further up the grid. And behind that, I remember it was Supermoto, and I can't remember anymore, but we are on for a very good race, and it looks overcast here, fellas. I don't know if we will be seeing a wet race or not, but yes, Tyrant King was 0.9 up on his time, so he would have been a bit further up the grid, and he will be hoping to gain that time. And now I am very nervous, guys, because I have never done a race start in my life, so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to give you a fun but thrilling race as I commentate over it, and I hope you guys enjoy. And I believe the strategy today is soft, medium, or soft to hard, or medium to hard. There's loads of ways you can take this. I've heard a couple drivers rumored to be aiming for a two-stop, maybe, as we have the front two on the hards and Jake Laser on the softs. At the moment, I think that'll be the tires. No, they are still switching it up as Shane's gone onto the mediums. We have all three tire compounds filling out the front three. No, we don't, as we have official J on the softs ahead of Shane on the mediums, and we are underway for the BMRL. We are not underway. The safety car has come straight out as Matt Yonatu has taken a drive-through penalty. I think we may be looking at a restart here, guys, and that is very unfortunate, and I will have to hope someone got a screenshot of the final qualifying positions, as we will be doing a restart here, I believe, guys. I will have to announce that to the chat and make sure everyone knows. Yeah, Jake Laser is going to announce it that we are restarting. Everyone knows we are restarting. I hope someone has got the grid. Did anyone get the grid? Now I have to waffle even more, guys. I am very excited. Hopefully that is very annoying for some drivers who would have not used the tyres, and I will try and remember the grid, but I hope someone else has got it. Yeah, restart, guys. We'll be restarting the lobby. I think it's safer to restart the lobby, as we don't know if this lobby is messed up or not. I will be inviting you all back and hopefully be able to get the grid sorted. It'll be a new lobby. Yeah, new lobby, guys. That's very unfortunate, because we were on for a very good race and some drivers would have had a good strategy in their arsenal, but that'll have affected us very slightly, I believe, but not too bad. And I need to I will be back in a second, guys. Hopefully you can stay with us, as it's just a very short, very short break from the action as we try and sort this new lobby out, and see you in a second. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to go in and watch an incredible 35 lap race round the Canadian Grand Prix of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, as I almost forgot. But we are here and we are ready to go again. Sorry about the gap, sorry about the safety car, sorry about the game, but we are here and we are ready to go. I am ready for a proper start this time, and hopefully no safety car comes out in the meantime. Yeah, we're good. Whew. I was very close. I thought I turned the safety car off. We're all good. We're all good. I almost lost it, but here we are, guys, and we are going to remember your setups, get your setup loaded, and you got this, guys. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll see a variety of strategies across the front again, as we saw last time, and it was very interesting. And we are going to let these guys choose their setups. And my prediction for today's race is Official JE to win another race with, behind him, Jake Laser, then Matty on a 2, and Shane in P4. Boom, boom, boom. So, fingers crossed, we see a good one. And today, hopefully, guys, you all enjoy this race, and I will be ready to go once this race gets going. I think we are in a fully dry race now because we had to, and here we go, guys. I am so ready for my first ever race start because the first one wasn't a real one. We don't count it. I also messed up, so it doesn't matter. But we are here again, and we will go straight in. Here we go. Watching as these wonderful drivers on the hard, medium and softs go at it at the front three are ready. I think we are about to go in, and yes, we are. Official JE ahead of the Red Bull of Shane, and we are underway. This time I hope we are. Yes, Official JE is away, and the rest of the grid following through. Official JE takes P1 and is clear of the rest of the grid, and following him, Shane, and then we have the Aston Martins of Jake and Matty on 2, and we are super clean at the front. Drifting has fallen back towards the back after a risky start, and BMRL Roscoe is all the way up to P9 already, and I will quickly get our tyres and all our information on so you guys know what's going on. And we are on the tyre situation to watch out for, as immediately Jake Laser is all over the back of Shane, as Shane is already over a second behind the leader of the Ferrari, that is Official JE. And the first driver on the mediums, Yasunito, is following the two Aston Martins on in the second Ferrari. He's gone for a separate strategy here, and BMRL Roscoe is on the softs, ready to try and pounce on the slower drivers, as we have a little gap between the Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo, and down the Casino straight for the first of 35 times. And here we go. Official JE is clear, and he will be very happy with that first lap, as he is ready and pushing to take home a second win in a row, as Alessandro makes a move on the Williams of Mr. Camus with his his soft tyres on the Williams, and he will be hoping to push further through the field and maybe get past the other medium runner, that is Yasunito. And following him, you have Tyrant King, who was a lot further down the grid than he wanted to, as Deadliest Dave almost lost it there, just went into the wall and falls down to P11, as Roscoe is up to P8, and Tyrant King has had a big crash. I don't know what happened there to the Alpha Tauri, but he is down, and there's a virtual safety car. A lot happened at once there, guys, and I'm still trying to figure out how it did, but we have the two Alpha Tauris and the two Mercedes are falling far down the grid here, and that is very unfortunate for Tyrant King, who was hoping to cut his way through the field, but he is now stuck behind the two very slow moving Mercedes. And towards the front, we will have a look as we have Official JE leading the way ahead of the likes of Shane and Jake Laser. He'll be hoping to keep it at about a second gap between them after this virtual safety car restart, and he will be hoping that this safety car ends anytime soon, but it's still out. He'll be just hoping to stick to that lead as Deadliest Dave head into the pits under the virtual safety car, so that might help him, and we are underway. DRS enabled. That is a very good timing for Shane, who is now only 6/10 behind the Ferrari. Any other moves further down the field? I do not think so. And Mr. Camus is still behind the Alfa Romeo of Alessandro, who is just behind, who was just fallen out of a second of the Ferrari of Yasunita, who's trying to stick with the soft runners and then hope his tyres come into it towards the end of the stint. And here we go. Shane now has DRS on the Ferrari of Official JE down the very long and fast Casino straight in Gilles Villeneuve. Sorry. And here we go. Shane is all over the back of Official JE. Will he use his DRS? Will he use his ERS to try and make a move on the Ferrari, who does seem to be quicker than the Red Bull, but he just does not able to make a move. Jake Laze has gone towards the outside of Shane, but backs off into the fast chicane. And here comes Shane now, past Official JE, who must have made a mistake out of the final two corners, as we have another virtual safety car. That is immense for Jake Laser, who's gotten ahead of the Ferrari. We have a full course safety car, as I think we must have had another incident as Deadliest Dave has lost his front wing again. I guess the only thing I can see that could have caused that safety car. So very unfortunate for the Alpha Tower. No, very unfortunate for the Mercedes of Deadliest Dave, but he can still come back and put on a new front wing and hope these guys all bunch up again. And the soft runners will be having to make a dilemma now, because do you pit and go for a two-stop and commit to the two-stop now and use that safety car to get that first pit stop out the way, or do you stay out and stick to the one-stop and hopefully make it towards the end of the race? And that was very interesting. Just before that safety car came out, Official JE made a mistake out of the final chicane and almost went into this Wall of Champions, I believe. And the other two drivers behind him, of Jake Laser and Shane, took advantage of that mistake and just went flying through down the straight just before the safety car came out. And JE could not even fight it, unfortunately. And here we are, Matty 102 sitting in P4, the championship leader, fighting Official JE, who is in P3, who has gone into the pits along with Shane. The Red Bull and the Ferrari both having the same idea, as the Aston Martin boys decide to stay out. The only other drivers staying out are the ones on the mediums. The Aston Martin boys, along with BMRL Roscoe and the Aston Martin boys, have said, I bet I'm going to stay out and stay on these softs. And they're going to try it. They're really going to try it. As we watch Yasunita and Mr. Camus on the mediums, might be in a better position than the other guys here today. But we will have to wait and see how this goes for the Aston Martins. And this strategy could go either way between Richard J, Shane, Matty and Jake Laser. Oh, here we are. We will have... I'm sorry for that, guys. I just came back. Shane is in P9 now on the fresh mediums, behind the hard runners, Wax Lex and Camp Tramp Boom. Then, ahead of them, mediums, Joshua Stevens. Soft, BMRL Roscoe. Mediums, Mr. Camus. Mediums, Yasunito. Softs for Matty 102 and softs for Jake Laser. The only three to stick out on the softs are the Aston Martins, alongside BMRL Roscoe, who are the big risk takers here, and I don't think they're going to come in. They can't come in now. That will lose them too much time. They are committing to the one stop, whilst the other drivers who come in for a fresh set of mediums have stuck a fresh set on, and they're going to do a two stop because those mediums are not making it to the end of this race. It'll be very interesting to see how this unfolds now at the safety car restart. Will Jake Laser and Matty 102 fight, or will they work together to try and get away from the Scarlet Red Ferrari of Yasunito? And it could be a very interesting scenario here to watch, and we will be keeping an eye on this front battle throughout the race. Someone else to look at is Supermoto, who's had a bad race this weekend. He had a really good one last weekend, unfortunate not to take any points away from it, but he will be hoping to take points away from this race, even without the pace that he had last time out in Portugal. And just looking back at the previous race winners, Matty102 has 2 wins so far this season. JE has 2 wins this season. Tyrant won, Yasunito won, Caxel won, Shane won. It's been such an incredible season, guys. And I'm so happy that you guys are along for the ride. And we will be getting back underway shortly, I believe, from this safety car. And it will be a very interesting restart and a very interesting season if you want to keep tuning in every week, every Sunday, 8 p.m. GMT, every Monday, 7 p.m. GMT, to watch Tier 1 and Tier 2 respectively every week. Also, highlights posted on the BMRL YouTube channel every week to keep you posted if you ever want to catch up on a race that you missed. So, Jake Laser will lead us away from the safety car restart. It will be very interesting to see when he goes. It will most likely be just before the chicane, or will he wait until after it and try to scare some of these other drivers off? And Jake Laser's still not fully gone yet, as he now puts his foot to the floor, and this safety car restart is underway in Canada. Matty102 follows him through, does not try to fight Jake Laser, and Yasunito does not want to get into any battles. Same with Mr. Camu. The guys at the front don't really want to fight too much, but that'll be something that BMRL Roscoe will be hoping to take advantage of, as he is going to be all over the back of him on his fresh soft, and he will be hoping to make a move on the medium runners and try and get himself up into that podium position for now. As we look back and see official JE is up to P9 and Shane is up to P7. They have made this work so far. They will be hoping to get onto the back of the Aston Martin boys as soon as possible on their fresh tyres. As you look towards the back, Camtron Boom is fighting his teammate, and he tries to let his teammate through there, I think. And Dave is into the wall again, and we have another safety car. Very unfortunate. That is another crash for Dave. Unlucky, man. You had a bad run today, similar to me yesterday. So we have another safety car. That is quite interesting for the Aston Martins again, as they will be seeing if they want to come into the pits now. Surely that would be a mistake to change your mind now, but we will see what they decide to do. And as I go for a quick drinks break, Jake will be coming into the pitch as Matty102 stays out. BMRL Roscoe and Jake Laser both come into the pitch to put a fresh set of tyres onto the car, and they will fall to the back of the grid. But the Aston Martins have split their strategy now. Matty102 staying out on the softs to try and make them last a bit longer and do a one-stop. And Jake Laser will come out of the pits in P11 just behind the Mercedes of Drifting, and BMRL Roscoe just behind him. These guys have gone for the strategy call, and this has got very, very interesting. And I will be back in a second after my drinks break. And I am back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have Alessandro on the fresh hards to try and get to the end now, I believe. That is a strategy call to make, very bold from the Alfa Romeo, who's going to try and make it to the end now on the set of hards. And we have another lap of the safety car before coming in, and that means I can plug even more BMRL content. And BMRL is an amazing league, guys. If you want to join the Discord. I know it's not up today. Usually we have in the bottom right corner our Discord link. But if you want to join the Discord, give us a message, or just look at the link on the YouTube, I believe the YouTube channel has a link to the Discord to join if you ever need to. So if you want to have a look, definitely give us a look. yeah, give us a look. But yeah, I love BMRL. I'm sure everyone else in BMRL would agree with me when I say this is one of my favourite leagues I've ever been in. And Josh Oakenlown has just been censored in the Twitch chat, so I don't know what he said, but I hope it's not too bad, Josh Oakenlown. The Discord link is dsc.gg/bromama. That is what he said. It was nothing rude, no slurs from Josh Oakenlown, thank God. And there you go, guys. That's the Discord link. If you ever want to join, if anyone wants to join, give us a hit, give us a chance. You will enjoy it. You will not regret it. We are looking for some tier 1 drivers, some tier 2 drivers, maybe even tier 3 drivers next season if everything goes to plan. So, as another safety car comes into the pits, Matty 1 of 2 on his old soft compound tyres will be wondering, what can he do? What can he do compared to the mediums, which are much better, and the fresh mediums of Shane, who is only in P5, only 4 positions behind after making a pit stop as well. It doesn't look like the Aston Martin boys made the right decision, and we'll watch as Matty 102 takes us away for the second safety car restart of the race, and he is away clean and no one is making a move on him. Yasunito following him through, also staying clean. Mr. Camo also staying clean. Joshua Stevens a little slower than the other two, has also almost lost it there, and Shane will make a move on the Alfa Romeo and take his place in P4 to follow the faster drivers, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1. That is Mr. Camus. No, he was on in P4, and that is another safety car, ladies and gentlemen. 3 safety cars in 10 laps is incredibly unlucky, and Mr. Camus will be thanking his lucky stars that safety car came out there, and I am not thanking mine because I have to waffle for another 3 laps of safety car, and that's very unfortunate. What will Matty 102 do now? Will he try and get to the end and put a set of hards on, or will he stay out and stick to his guns and stay as stubborn as Moore Island in a pro club's lobby, as we love to say? And will we see Matty 102 dive into the pits at the end of this lap, or will he stay out? Here is the big question, ladies and gentlemen. What will he answer? And here comes Matty 102 towards the pits, and he goes into the pit lane to go towards a new set of tyres, and he will fall towards the back of the grid, as we have Joshua Stevens also coming into the pits on his old mediums, Yasunito staying out on his old mediums, and Matty 102 putting on a fresh set of mediums. I've said so many mediums in the last 2 seconds, it is getting into my head, and here Matty 102 will be down the grid, down in P11, but with fresher tyres than the likes of Shane, who's had them on for 6 laps. So we will be seeing this race close up towards the end of the race, and we have everyone has pit other than Yasunito now, who is going to be trying to make those mediums last a long time, and hopefully we have a bit of time without a safety car, so we have some clean racing going on. And I will go for another drinks break, and I will be back in 3 seconds momentarily. And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to BMRL once again. It looks like we can roll a 60-second ad, so enjoy that one. And if anyone is still here, I don't know how the ads work. I've tried to roll a 60-second ad, so if you are seeing an ad, thank you very much for supporting the channel. But if you're not, then I'll have to keep waffling to you. And that's something to watch out for is this constructors battle that's been raging on all season between the Ferraris and the Aston Martins, and it is now, the gap is only 20 points between the two of them, and the Aston Martins ran away with it towards the start of the season, but Ferraris are starting to bring it back, and we could be seeing a battle for the ages between the two iconic brands of Ferrari and Aston Martin, with the Red Bulls just in behind. Obviously, we are missing Caxel today, unfortunately, as he has not got a wheel, but he is definitely a driver to watch out for throughout this season. He will be up there fighting the likes of Official JE, Shane, Yasunito, Tyrant, Roscoe. No, not Roscoe, sorry. Matty on the 2 and Jake Laser. We have so many quick drivers in Tier 2 this season. I was saying before, this is such an exciting season. I loved Season 1, but this season they have ramped up Tier 2. Tier 2 have incredibly improved, and I'm so proud of them because this has been such an amazing... My laptop started playing my stream back to me there for a second, guys. Sorry about that. And as we are going to be underway for our third safety car restart, as Mr. Roscoe gets a 5-second time penalty for a collision on the safety car, which he might be able to get removed if he's not going to pit again. I don't know what happened, but he might be able to. And we will watch as when will Yasunito go on the old mediums compared to the fresh mediums with Shane in behind him. He will be hoping to get away very well and pull away, hopefully, but it will be very difficult as he is on the much older tyres. Drifting takes a 5-second time penalty. He is having it in the wars at the moment. And here we go. When will Yasunito go? He's already gone in the middle of the chicane. Very well done from Yasunito. Already pulled a 5/10 gap to the Red Bull of Shane. And I think Yasunito will be hoping to hold Shane up and give Official J a bit of help in the fight for the win here, I believe. And throughout the rest of the grid, we look like we're very clean so far. Be careful of cold tyres and spinning on the first lap, Mr. Camu. And here we go. Yasunito is leading us away on the old medium compounded tyres, with Shane in behind on the fresher medium. 8 laps on those mediums, whilst 12 laps for Yasunito. So it's not too big of a difference, but it is enough to be a lot faster, and we will be coming up to the long straight of the casino in no time, as Mr. Cameron's gone into the wall again. Unfortunate for him. Very unlucky. He was fighting for the lead. He just hasn't been able to keep it on the road, as we have a little pack of 4 forming here from Yasunito down to Tyrant King, with Supermoto and Drifting falling back from that group, with BMRL Roscoe and Jake Laser on the fresher medium tyres. Will be hoping to push through the grid, as I am missing Jane making a move on the Ferrari of Yasunito, who lets his teammate through and almost goes into the back of his teammate there, and he's going to lose another couple positions with that mistake, as Supermoto follows Tyrant King through, and Yasunito will be ruining that, as Supermoto's going to try and make a move on the AlphaTauri, and here he goes. He has made the move stick, and his 2 positions in one straight for Supermoto, thanks to the mistake from Yasunito, as Tyrant King tries to come back at Supermoto. Tyrant King is side by side with the Alpine, but he has to lift off a bit, and Supermoto had a little bit of lag there, forcing him behind the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri as he's down into P5, and they have made contact, and Yasunito is round, and there's some debris flying off of multiple cars there. I don't know who lost the wing, but someone did. I think it was BMRL Roscoe, it was, and that is carnage there in the middle of the Canadian Grand Prix, and they are still going at it as sorry guys, Drifting is ahead of the 3 of them. BMRL Roscoe is falling down the grid like a pack of bricks right now because of his front wing damage, and he is falling, and he is just about keeping it ahead of the AlphaTauri of Camp Trap Boom, as there's a lot of action going on here. Roscoe is losing time, hand over fist towards the rest of this grid. He's going to go down into the pits probably, as the Aston Martin boys are up to P6 and P7 now, and they'll be happy that that has happened, as Matty 102 is all over the side of Drifting. He's not going to be able to make a move here, I don't think, as Roscoe heads into the pits, and he will be hoping that he can come back later on in this race after a little bit of an incident that was nowhere near his fault, and he will be hoping to serve that 5 seconds, and he will come back, and I believe he will. Matty 102 into P5 ahead of the Mercedes of Drifting, and Matty 102 is flying now, only behind all these front 4 who were on the old 10-lap tyres. Matty 102 is on the best compounded tyres out of all of them, and he'll be hoping to make it to the end, I believe, as I don't think the guys with 10-lap old mediums will be making it to the end, but they may as well try. You never know. We will have to see and wait it out to see how he does. And Matty 102 already within a second of the Alpine of Supermoto, with drifting also following him through very nicely, and Jake Laser 1.2 seconds off. And we could be seeing Matty 102 make a move anytime now with a DRS enabled. Matty 102 will try and take the slipstream, use his ERS. He's not going to use his ERS, maybe wait for the second straight here. And here comes Matty 102 is what they say. And he does a Mercedes of drifting, heading into the pits now to go to the end of the race, I believe. Maybe stick on another set of mediums and go to the end, as Matty 102 sets the fastest lap of the race, and he will be trying to make a move on the Alpine of Supermoto ASAP. And here he goes into the exit of turn 2. He will be making a wonderful move if he can make this stick. Supermoto tries to stick it around the outside, cannot do it. That is a wonderful move, Matty 102 on the fresh mediums. He is up into P4 and will be hoping to reel in the AlphaTauri, Red Bull and Ferrari ahead of him. And this could be a very interesting next couple of laps, as we have 19 laps left of this incredible Canadian Grand Prix. And Mr. Camus and BMRL Roscoe are just behind the Mercedes are drifting as he comes out of the pits, as those mediums will definitely make it to the end. I don't know about the rest of the grid, but they will all be trying definitely, as Officier once again, after not taking, he took pole position this week. Usually he doesn't take pole position, then he goes and leads the race, but he's taking pole position and he's leading the race now, guys. So maybe he's even improved from how good he was last week. And here he goes, he's 1.7 seconds clear of the Red Bull, and we look back towards Jake Laser, who is all over the back of Supermoto and takes the position, but goes very deep into the chicane and loses a position out to the Alfa Romeo of Alessandro, who is on the hards, and Supermoto will not be happy with that. He also went wide thanks to Jake Laser, and then he spun on the curb on the exit. Jake Laser has got front wing damage. That is immense news here, ladies and gentlemen. Front left wing damage for Jake Laser in the Aston Martin. He will not be happy with that. And Matty 102 is on in the other one, in the fresh with the fresh mediums. He is all over the back of Tyrant King. He'll be hoping to make his move through the grid and maybe challenge Officier later on in this race. And it looks like, I believe, Jake Laser should probably come into the pits and put a new front wing on, and hope the other guys need to pit and just do a little undercut on them. But we will see what he does in P6 at the moment. Maybe he's just going to take home a easy P6 and not risk anything. You never know. And in the championship here, ladies and gentlemen, he will be wanting to do that. But Yasunito, still on the medium, still falling down the grid. Surely you want to come in for some fresh softs at some point. Yasunito, as I am missing Matty 102 making a move on the AlphaTauri of Tyrant King 07. Will Tyrant King be trying to make a move back on the Aston Martin? He's dumping his ERS. Will he try and make a dive up the inside? No, he thinks better of it and plays the smart game here and stays behind the faster car because of his fresh tyres of Matty 102, who is slicing his way through the field here, ladies and gentlemen. And we could be seeing a very interesting next couple of laps, as he's 3.4 seconds off of Shane and a further 2 seconds off of the race leader, Fisher JE. The championship contenders, 2 points separating them in the championship, and currently 5 seconds in this race. And we could be seeing a battle between them on the track for a first time in a while, but it'll be very interesting to see. And Matty 102 in this beautiful camera angle takes that corner wonderfully as he closes the gap to the Red Bull of Shane. These fresh tyres are doing him wonders. That his decision to stay out might have been the right one here, ladies and gentlemen. He has done everything right so far, maybe. And here he comes, 2.2 seconds behind the Red Bull now, and Jake Laser still losing time. Is he not going to pit? Is he going to try and make it to the end with a front wing broken and his mediums in a bad state? He is down to the outside of Alessandro, and he makes the move stick this time, and Roscoe takes a 3-second penalty as he is following Mr. Camus at the moment, and those two are battling. I will also have a little look as Tyrant King comes into the pits. He will be going to the end now on a fresh set of mediums. He will be hoping to slice his way through the field just as easily as Matty 102 did, and he's changing his front wing as well, and that will be a very unfortunate stop, but he is still in P9 and has a clear track ahead of him, fresh air, so he can breathe it in. And here he goes out onto the track into turn 2, and here comes Tyrant King into P9. He'll be hoping to make the rest of this race as good as his start of his career in BMRL. And here comes Matty 102, 1.4 seconds off of Shane now, and Jake Laser only 3/10 ahead of Alessandro, so we will keep an eye on this battle. And Alessandro, with no front wing damage but the harder compounder tyres, will be hoping to get past Jake Laser and not be held up too much by the very slow dark green, British green Aston Martin. Alessandro following his American compatriot down into the final chicane. They are going to go side by side here. No, they're not. Jake Laser dives into the pits and will be putting on a fresh tyres to try and get to the end of this race now, which he will be easy. What it won't be easy is Official JE to get to the end. What it won't be easy is Shane to get to the end. What it won't be easy is Matty, but it'll be much easier because he has 6 laps fresher tyres. And here comes Matty, who's now only 9/10 behind the Red Bull of Shane. And this could be an interesting battle to watch out for, as it looks like Jake Laser is coming out of the pits. He is very far behind Tyrant King, and that is very sad. He is quite the gap behind his compatriots, and here he comes out of the pits, side by side with drifting maybe, and Jake Laser is out onto the track in P10 with a new front wing and a vendetta to try and get back throughout the grid. And we have now Matty 102 up the inside of the hairpin. I completely missed that. He has made a wonderful move there to get past Shane and take the DRS off of him, and that is absolutely incredible for Matty 102. Already up into P2, only 3 seconds off the lead with 6 lap fresher tyres. This could be an intriguing next couple of laps to see how quickly he can cut down that lead that Official JE has. But Shane is into the pits. He is not going to try and make those mediums last. I don't think the mediums are going to go any further for Official JE. Official JE will have to pit. Will Matty 102 have to pit? That is a question that is going to have to be answered in the next couple of laps. And we will have to watch Shane comes out on the hard compounder tyres, interestingly. Maybe not the best choice for him. Just put fresher mediums on, maybe. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I've made the worst strategy calls in the last 2 races ever in the world. Tyrant King sets the fastest lap of this race, and he is only 5 seconds behind the Red Bull of Shane, who has only just come out on the fresh hard compounder tyres. And we could be seeing a little battle towards the end of this race, and it looks like we could be seeing Josh Okunlaun join us for the rest of this session. And are we, Josh, seeing you join us for the rest of this session? Bright Terror, are you with us? No, you aren't. I will carry on commentating as if you aren't, but hopefully you can join us in no time at all. I cannot hear you if you need me to tell you that, as Yasunito's... Oh, you're very quiet now, Josh. I can hear you slightly. Are you doing okay? I don't want to miss too much of this race. And Yasunito is in the DRS of Camp Tramp Boom as he goes to try and claw back that gap. And Camp Tramp Boom heads into the pits to put a fresh set of tyres on, along with Waxy Lettuce. Yasunito is still out on those medium compounder tyres. He will be hoping to get onto the softs, I believe, as he goes deep there, I think, as Shane is now ahead of him, and Yasunito will be trying to get to the end of this race. No, we'll try to get to the soft compound stage where he can put a fresh set of softs on and close that gap towards the front guys. Alessandro on the hards, 8.7 seconds behind Matty 102. He will be definitely getting to the end, Alessandro, but Matty 102, I don't know. Josh Okunlaun, are you here for us now? Still no, and Official JE is still leading us away, 2.3 seconds clear of Matty 102 now, and Matty 102 closing that gap with the fresher compounder tyres. We could be seeing a very interesting lap 24, maybe lap 25, as Matty 102 reels in the fish that is Official JE. See what I did there? Official. And then, are you here, Josh? Are you including your audio, Josh? No, I cannot hear you on the stream, Josh. You are not coming through the stream, I believe. You're not gonna be here. Okay, no worries. See you soon. I'll carry on commentating as Supermoto sets the fastest lap of this race. Did you just shed a tear? Did I see you shed a tear? Mr. Supermoto in a 2.6 seconds behind Mr. Camu now at the back of the grid. And Matty on a 2 seconds behind Official JE. This is getting very close between the top two here, the two championship protagonists. And it'll be very interesting to see how these two do with Official JE on much better tyres. Yasunito has just lost the position to Tyrant King, I believe, on those old mediums. He will be needing to come in. He'll be dying to come into the pits as soon as possible. Surely you want to come into the pits now, Yasunito. No way you're going to stick it out on those mediums any longer, as the Red Bull of Shane is in P4 now on the fresh hards. He's only 5 seconds behind Alessandro. Matty 102 on the 13 lap old mediums now. Surely you can't make these last, Jay. Surely you can't make these last, Matty, as Yasunito, like I said, comes in for a fresh set of softs, and he is going to be flying for the rest of this race. And it'll be very interesting to see how quickly he can cut his way through the field, as BMRL Roscoe is all over the back of Camp Tramp Boom. And I will give us a little look at the penalties for a second. Camp Tramp Boom many more penalties than the McLaren of BMR Roscoe, and Mr. Camu has no penalties at all. Roscoe gets his second 3-second time penalty of the race, and is up to 6 seconds of time penalties now. But Alessandro currently has 6 seconds, Shane 3 seconds. Those are the big ones to look out for. And here we go. Matty on 2, 1.6, only 4 tenths behind the Ferrari of Official JE now. Looking at ERS, Official JE has saved much more ERS than the Aston Martin and Matty 102. Unfortunately, Matty 102 will be hoping to keep his ERS very high, and I am told I need to give Josh an invite. I will be very quick. There he is, and here we go. I am back out, and we are back watching this race. And here we go. Matty 102 all over the back of Official JE now. 1.4 seconds in it. We could be seeing a battle for the lead in no time. And looking towards the back, Yasunito in last place is about to set a very quick lap time, I believe. And I was wrong. 1:14.9. And Matty 102 1.2 seconds behind the Ferrari of Official JE. One to watch is Jake Laser still out on those mediums. I forgot that he has already pit. I was going to say he's still out on that broken wing. He is going to be flying on these fresh mediums and hoping to gain on Alessandro, and maybe even Matty 102 and Official JE as their tyres start to drop off. And we have a yellow flag for Mr. Cameron, who spun in the same place again. Very unfortunate for the Williams driver. He will be hating that corner as Official JE has decided to come into the pits. Interesting decision. That is a race-defining moment here, ladies and gentlemen. Fresh softs for the Ferrari of Official JE, who will be hoping to gain that time on Matty 102. And the guys in front of him, who will he come up behind? Will Tyrant King be ahead of Official JE here? I don't think so. Official JE will take P4 on those fresh softs and be hoping to reel the guys ahead in on those hard compound tyres, Alessandro and Shane. Shane on much fresher hards than Alessandro. So we could be seeing a little accordion effect where they all close up to each other, and we will keep an eye on this Shane and Alessandro battle as Shane hopes to take P2 back off of Alessandro, the Alfa Romeo, who's hoping to battle for a podium here, but he is on the old hards and it will be very difficult to keep these guys behind. But you know who's on even worse tyre stage right now? Matty 102 on those old mediums. Can JE pull him in on the fresh softs? Can Shane catch up to him on the fresh hards? It's just not a very big unknown right here, ladies and gentlemen. Matty 102 is not coming into the pits. He is definitely not going to pit now, because he has been severely undercut by Official JE if he does pit any later than now. He has committed to sticking out on these medium compound tyres. He needs to do another 8 laps. Do 24 laps on a set of mediums would be incredible from this Aston Martin driver. And we could be seeing a very interesting battle between these very fast drivers of Shane. Already gained a second on the Aston Martin. Very interesting. And Yasunito is up to P12 on his fresh softs. Ferrari's obviously bleeding. The softs at the end of the race are going to be very good. Official JE already onto the back of the old hard runner of Alessandro in the Alfa Romeo. Official JE will be wanting to dispatch of this driver very quickly, and he does very well to get past the Alfa Romeo very quickly, and he will be onto the back of the Red Bull of Shane in no time, with Tyrant King also coming through the field. This could be a very interesting end to the race, and Official JE only 1 second behind of Shane now, and he is only 10 seconds behind Matty 102 after having an extra pit stop. Matty 102 will be hoping to get these mediums to the end, surely. There's no way you can make these mediums less to the end, Matty. If you do, I will applaud you. I'll give you a standing ovation if you can get these mediums to the end, or we could be seeing another Yasunito from Portugal where he sits and sets... Official JE sets the fastest lap of the race, and in doing so sends up the inside of Shane and up into P2 already, now only 9.8 seconds behind the leader and his championship rival of Matty 102. And Official JE has made the right decision here to put on a fresh set of softs and catch up as soon as possible, as Shane gets another penalty up to 6 seconds, and Tyrant King will be liking that, licking his lips at that podium chance because of the two in front of him on much more penalties than him, whilst he's kept it very clean with 0 penalties so far. And Jake Glazer, another one with 0 penalties, will be hoping to be within 6 seconds of Shane and Alessandro for the end of this race. And JE, 7 laps to go, 8 seconds behind. He is going to be reeling in Matty 102 like a fish. It's not official this time, but it is Matty 102, and Official JE is already gaining a second a corner, basically. This is not going to be much of a fight, I don't think. Matty 102 is struggling on these medium compounded tyres, but he has made a risk, and he's hoping to last another 6 laps, and hoping to keep the Ferrari of Official JE behind, as Yasunito makes a move on the McLaren of BMRL Roscoe, and if Roscoe is smart, he follows Yasunito through the grid here, as Alessandro has come in for a fresh set of softs. He obviously doesn't think those hards are very good, and he is going to be flying towards the end of this race, as another one to come in is Waxy Lettuce, as these drivers obviously believe the softs are a good choice here. Alessandro out in P6 ahead of his teammate Joshua Stevens, and Alessandro will be licking his lips because he's now on fresh softs, only 10 seconds behind the Aston Martin of Jake Glazer. He'll be hoping to cut into that lead just like Official JE is on the Aston Martin of Matty 102, and he is now only 5.9 seconds behind him. There's more than 6 laps to go. JE is flying here, and Matty 102 is falling. He is losing time every lap. He is going so slow, as Ross gets another penalty here. He has not had the greatest of races on 9 seconds of penalty, still 6 seconds less than Camp Trampoon, so he will still get that position at the end of the race. And the penalties here, ladies and gentlemen, have been a bit incredible, but it is Canada, and we knew it was going to happen. BMR Roscoe looks like he's going to try and make a move into the hairpin, but he just backs out, makes the smart decision, and just goes side by side with the AlphaTauri on the exit. He will get the DRS though, Roscoe, so he will make a move and get the position on the track ahead of the AlphaTauri of Camp Trampoon, who is using his DRS to try and stick with the McLaren, but he backs off of that battle and is down into P11 as he goes into the pits and goes onto a fresh set of softs probably to try and gain that time at the end. And now 5 laps to go, 3.9 seconds. Official JE is reeling Matty 102 in here, guys. I believe it is going to be a very, very weak fight for Matty 102 on those old mediums. He will be happy to take home a P2 maybe in this race if he can do that. But as we watch the final 6 laps of this race, Official JE is now only 3 seconds behind the Aston Martin and Matty 102, and we could be seeing a very big overtake in the terms of this championship battle very soon, as there's 2 points between these two. 2 points, not 22. 2 points between these two, so 1 position change between the two of them can swing this championship in a completely different direction, and JE is absolutely flying here, already 2.5 seconds behind the Aston Martin of Matty 102. And another one to watch out for is Official JE's teammate of Yasunito, who's on the fresh soft as well, behind the likes of Joshua Stevens and Drifting, who are trying to get to the end of this race and take home some points for their respective teams. And Yasunito is going to try and make a move now on the Mercedes of drifting. They backs out very smartly because that was never going to end well. I think Yasunito will be hoping to get P7 in the end of this race. As we look towards penalties, actually, he is the same penalties as drifting, 3 seconds less than Joshua Stevens, so he is currently a position ahead of where he should be, and Joshua Stevens has got another one, so we could be seeing Yasunito cut his way through that mid-pack and hopefully try and stick towards the back of Alessandro, who is currently catching Aston Martin and Jake Laser. Both Aston Martins being reeled in by the drivers behind them, and they are not liking this race. They have Matty still in the lead, so he will be happy that he has an okay race, but he just hasn't had the pace of usual that he has usually had. Just like Jake, the Aston Martin boys have had an off race today, I believe, but Matty still leads the race. I don't know why I'm saying that, because Matty is still leading the race and JE still has to overtake him. As a wise man once said, it is one thing to overtake, a whole new thing to it is one thing to catch up, it is a whole new thing to overtake, and I got that wrong. So we will carry on watching and ignore that ever happened. So thank you for listening to me waffle for the last 78 minutes, guys. It's been a pleasure, and we have 3 more laps to go and then the interviews, and then you can get rid of my annoying monotone voice as soon as possible. JE is all over the back of his title rival Matty 102. Is he going to make a move this early, already into the hairpin? No, he's going to hold back and wait for a much better chance and hope to breeze past for Aston Martin. That is Matty 102 going it down the casino straight. Official JE turns on the DRS, uses the ERS, and goes to the outside of the Aston Martin and breezes past. That is the easiest overtake you will ever see. And JE is into the lead and has DRS again to pull away even further. And that is Matty 102's chances at this win all but lost. And he will be hoping to stay ahead of the Red Bull of Shane now and get as many points as possible and have some damage limitation today. Jake Laser, 5th place in the Aston Martin, Matty 102 2nd place, JE winning, and Yasunito fighting these Mercedes and Alfa Romeo to try and get some points for that Ferrari team that they desperately need, as the Aston Martin boys are both up there and Yasunito is currently being stuck behind the very fast down the straight drifting in Joshua Stevens, and Tyrant King has picked up a 3-second time penalty, and he is now needs to be within 3 seconds of the car ahead, which is Shane, and he will be hoping to get within 3 seconds. That is very interesting. Yasunito makes a move finally on the Mercedes of drifting, and BMRL Roscoe will be hoping to follow him through, hopefully, as Yasunito turns on his DRS and now will be hoping to make a move on the Alfa Romeo of Joshua Stevens as soon as possible and hope to slice into the lead that Alessandro's pulled 14 seconds. It doesn't look like there's any more Yasunito can do than finish 7th here today, ladies and gentlemen, but it will be a good little damage limitation for the Ferrari, as he did have to stay out on his mediums. He made that strategy call and it didn't come off, and here he comes now down the casino straight using all his ERS that he has, but Joshua Stevens just has a very quick straight line speed up. Obviously very difficult to overtake down the straight on him. It's just the corners that he's very slow through, and he still cannot make the move. Yasunito drifting is not going to make that. He's very smart to pull out of that one and stays in P9, as you are currently on for a P8 finish. A wonderful P8 finish drifting, actually, if you just make it last. And now Yasunito will be hoping to make a move in the corners, because he can't make a move down the straight, as Joshua Stevens has the fastest car down the straight that I've seen ever. So Yasunito goes very deep there onto the grass, and he might lose position again to drifting here, and that is very unfortunate for the Ferrari. BMRL Roscoe also following him. This is turning into a 5-car scrap between the Alfa Romeo, the Mercedes, the Ferrari, McLaren and the Alpine. That is interesting to say the least. Supermoto on the inside of BMRL Roscoe. They both go very deep. but Roscoe much deeper and loses the car on the exit and goes down into P11. Unfortunately, he can still take home a point from this race. He is on 12 seconds of penalties, and so is Supermoto. So those two are fighting for P10 basically here. And Yasunito is hoping to get past the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes of Joshua Stephen and Drifting, who are very, very quick down the straights. And he will be hoping to make a move in the corners. And it looks like Shane hasn't been able to catch up to the likes of Matty 102, and it's the same scenario for Tyrant King, who is not catching up to them as Drifting is into the wall. I'm so sorry I've given you commentator's curse there, Drifting. I was saying how good this result was going to be for you, but you are now down into P12 and you've gone into the wall. Yasunito is taken with him, and that is a big move for the championship as Ferrari lose a good load of points, a good handful of points from P7 all the way down to P10, and he will be hoping to get within 9 seconds of the two cars ahead and 6 seconds of Joshua Stephen. He is still on for it, and I've completely missed that JE has won the race. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. JE wins a second race in a row for the Ferrari, and Matty 102 in P2. I was completely caught up in the race there, and Shane is in P3 with Jake Laser taking home P4 and Tyrant King P5 and Alessandro with a very solid drive to take P6. And then to watch out for the penalties, Joshua Stephen and Supermoto going side by side already into the final chicane. Joshua Stephen, less penalties, should be fine just taking home P8 here, and he will be very glad to take home P7, maybe P8 as soon as Yasunito crosses the line. Yasunito takes P7, Joshua Stephen P8, Supermoto P9, and BMRL Roscoe takes home P10. A very hard fought for a point from the McLaren driver, and very big to watch out for. JE wins the race and takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Whew, completely missed that one, guys. Sorry about missing crossing the line. No JE, so we have Matty 102 and we have Shane in here to give interviews if possible. Oh wait, I can't do interviews. I'm on console. Sorry guys, because of the sorry for the inconvenience. There's no interviews today. I can't because I am on my console, and it was a very last minute decision to give me the streaming rights. But I can imagine what Jay would say. Jay would say he's very happy to take another win and take the championship lead. Matty would have said he's very glad to get to the end of the race, and Shane would have said he's happy to take home another podium. So that is your interviews for today, lads, and thank you for watching another week of BMRL, and hopefully next week we are in a much better condition. Tune in Sunday 8 p.m. GMT for Tier 1. Tune in Monday 7 p.m. GMT for Tier 2, and we have a championship battle on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.